I should be streaming. Sweet. Okay. Oh, hey, Silent Willow, can you hear me? I'm using a not so great headset because the headset I normally use is also not so great. So I'm not sure if these are picking up my voice well at all, but it's the best I've got at the moment. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a proper headset until the new year. Um, I mean, I have a proper headset, but it's a Christmas present, and so I'm not allowed to open it until Christmas, and therefore, yeah, there you have it. I could try my other headset again, but I found that it wasn't working as well. Yeah, my wife insists. She said I cannot open it until Christmas because it's a Christmas present, even though I've had it like in the house for the last week. It's killing me actually, but I have a Blue Yeti that it's pretty sweet, and it will be what I use, what I'll start using in the new year when I return to creating my podcast episode. So my podcast of Friday Fiction will return in the new year with my Friday Fiction stories, which is what I'm working on right now. Um, I am 86ing the web serial that I was going to do. I realize I'm taking on too much, and so um, I'm going to go full on with just short fiction, meaning each story is a standalone. It's not a continuation of anything. Um, and I'm kind of excited about that. I'm actually in my bedroom. I think I'm gonna move to my desk in my office, where that might give me a bit more of a comfortable space. I was just hanging out here, but I'll have a second monitor in my bedroom. So if you will, um, I guess, follow me, you really have a choice. But I'm just gonna plug my. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, okay. So I am going to move into the other room. I'm going to try the other headset that I have that I use for work, which, it works perfectly for work. I don't understand why it doesn't work. I find when I use it for the stream, um, but it's updating. Okay, so I can move this and my laptop and headphones and all the things. But anyway, so I am doing research on short story writing insofar as okay, let's open my office door so I can get in. Let's bring water and here we go. It's actually quite convenient having my office literally next door to my bedroom. So I can easily move from one room into the other. It might you might have less noise that you hear when I'm in here because I don't have a fan over my head in here. I don't have any of that kind of stuff going on. So it is a bit better with that in mind. Hold on. I'm clearer a bit now. That's good. That is good. It might actually be a bit of an echo in here because my office is a bit empty. And yeah. Hold on, I'm just plugging everything in. I have to plug in my HDMI, so I gotta plug in my monitor and show it here. I don't really have it set up the way that I would like it yet, but it's a work in progress. At least I have an office this time. Where I was before, I did not have an office. So I kind of feel like I'm moving up in the world. I'll eventually have a library. Okay, let's put that over there. I need to plug in my laptop, so let me figure that out. I also haven't figured out how to show the chat on Streamlabs OBS, and I don't know why. I had to have my laptop, the screen was replaced. Apple replaced it, and when they did that, they reset my computer so that everything that I had on here was no longer on here. So which is fine by me. I like doing a reset like that because it means I end up with a clean slate and programs and things like that I wouldn't normally be using. I just don't end up reinstalling them, so I end up with more space doing it that way. And I've learned to kind of do that where I live on the cloud with a lot of my stuff, and I try to only have programs that I absolutely need. However, the one drawback is if you have like preset settings and things like that on something that you haven't had to do for months or a year, and then you reinstall it and you're like, wait, how did I get that thing on the thing before? And yeah, so that's so with Streamlabs OBS, I have it here, but I don't know how to. I know that I can have the chat on this window, and the reason why I know that is because hold on, the aspect ratio changed on this because I moved it from one monitor to the other. So just give me a second. Stretch it out again. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong key. No, I'm pushing. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Come on. Is it 1 or is it 2? Oh my god, I'm trying to figure out which Bluetooth works for my Logitech keyboard for this laptop. Did I not connect this laptop to my Logitech yet? I use a different laptop when I'm in my office than my newer laptop. My newer laptop I usually keep downstairs. And then my previous laptop, which is still a pretty new laptop, is the one that I leave in my office, which is probably backwards. I should probably be using my better laptop at my desk, but I don't want to do that until I have my proper things. And my office is still not, my desk is not where really I feel where I want it. I only have my desk in my office. I have no other furniture in here. It's just not conducive. Set up Bluetooth keyboard. Okay. Why does it say not connected? Well, connected. I don't know which one it's supposed to be connected for. 1, 2, or 3. I'm gonna guess 2 and just reconnect it. Yes, I'm sure I'm gonna remove it. Connect, connected, done. Okay, so now I should be able to come back over here and do option click. Why is that not working? Oh my god, did my keyboard just freeze on me? Stop it. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Oh, I'm getting frustrated now. Why? It says I'm connected. So why is it not letting me type anything? Oh, okay, so I'm typing there. Let's try this again. Okay, so that's working now. Okay, let's try it over here now. Ah, okay, it's working now. Jesus. Mr. Betsy. Oh, jeez. What am I cursing here? I'm just trying to get this thing. Okay, so clearly I can shrink this back. So that way I want it, and I can increase. I just have to remember that I use the second monitor to do this, otherwise I'm going to end up having to do this every time. And I don't want to do it. Okay. So now I can come back over here, zoom back in. One more time. Perfect. Okay, so now you should be able to see that clearly. Oh, okay. Close Bluetooth now. I need to plug in my laptop because it's at 50%. So let's do that. Oh. You should see the mess of wires I have back here. It's like beyond atrocious. Okay. Unfortunately, my previous generation. Okay. I'm gonna try to turn my webcam on. Use try very loosely. I'm also going to try to switch my headset and see if you can hear me better or worse. Laptop. There we go. Okay. So how have you been, Silent Willow? While I fumble around with what I'm trying to do here. No. Not Twitter. Twitch. I've had better days. This week has been pretty crazy. Yesterday I fell down my stairs, which was not fun. And then my laptop fell on my foot. I've had a run of bad luck, I feel like, this entire week. Yeah, my shoulder, my left shoulder is hurting a bit, and I scraped my left elbow, but you know, I'm powering through. So, how did I come to look at myself on Twitch here? I don't really remember. Okay. What did I say I was about to do? Go on camera. That's what I said. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? This is going to be full screen, so I apologize. Ahead of time. Okay, so most of the top. And this here. Drop down to here. Oops. Shrink this down. This a bit. That's what I like to see. Myself over there. Not bad. Let me sit back in the chair. I have a proper office chair, which is nice. Tilt the camera back a little bit. So if I'm sitting back in the chair. Okay. Nice. I also got new glasses this week. I have to get my eyeglasses cleaner and keep it at my desk to clean my glasses, but slow and steady, slow and steady. What's throwing me off is the chat box is in the wrong place. Hold on. I have to put it back one. There we go. It was throwing me off a bit. I mean, normally I wouldn't have my thing like this, but, you know, I don't have my timer. I haven't downloaded my timer yet. That I usually have in the middle. Now, let's see. So you can see this headset here. It's not connected yet. I'm about to connect it. Technically, it should work better than what I'm using right now, which is my AirPods that I have in my ear. Um, but for whatever reason, when I was streaming last time, um, it did not, or at least I felt like I wasn't being heard properly. Okay. So, okay, let me try to change my headset from one to the other. Why is it multi-output device here? It should be. Option should be. Oh, let's turn my headset on. And the best way for me to know if this is working is to play music. You won't hear it, but I will. So let's play some music. Okay, I'm still here. So here that. Okay, I can hear the music here. Okay, so the question is,
Hello? Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me through this headset, but it should be coming, I should be speaking through the headset now, and I don't know how well that sounds. I could listen to myself on my stream since I have it up here. I cut out. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. All right, I'm listening to myself and I don't hear myself cutting out, so I'm going to, and I also sound a lot better. I think I must have had it, I must have had it wrong before. This is actually a lot better. So this will do me until I can get, I start using the Blue Yeti, and then eventually I'm going to use the Blue Yeti like sitting on the stand. Um, and then eventually I'll get the arm, and then with the arm I'll be able to do stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a static issue because it's a wireless headset. It's not. I know it's not good to use a wireless headset when you're. Saying, okay. Not really sure what I'm doing here. Interesting. Okay. So we're done with that. I can stop messing about here. Oh, I do see multi-output showing up now, but I won't select it. I'll leave it because I don't want to confuse things. You know what I mean? All right, so let me get back to what just happened. Okay, thought I closed the wrong window by mistake. All right, let's quit some windows I don't need open. All right, so like I was saying before, um, I'm going to go full on with um, writing short fiction, and I'm not going to do novel writing, at least not now and not in the foreseeable future. I'm just going to do short fiction. Um, and my goal before the end of this year, at least, is to take my favorite short fiction, put it together in an ebook format, and then use that as a reader magnet, which is what I had done in 2019, where I had a reader magnet of a few chapters of my book Daxton, and I used that in order to build my email newsletter. So I want to build my email newsletter back up to the numbers that it was back in 2019, which was like almost 2,000. Um, right now, it's a lot smaller than that, and so I realized that I need to get um, my true fan numbers up because right now I don't have what the true definition is of a true fan. So the next 5 years, I'm going to work on my true fan numbers and getting that up to where it should be, which is 1,000. I need 1,000 true fans, which is not the number of people you have in your email newsletter by any means. But if you have 1,000 true fans, then you can, um, by textbook definition, live off of your writing. Your writing can then become a career. So if I want that to be the case, then I need to work on my true fan numbers. And right now, I'm considering my true fan numbers to be 0. A true fan is someone who regardless of what you release, when you release it, and how much it costs, will purchase it. So, for example, take me. If I was Silent Willow, your true fan, and you released 5 books at, say, 4.99 per ebook, and then you released an audiobook to go with all 5 of those ebooks, and that audiobook costs 24.99, and then you released a box set of the 5 books for, let's say, another 24.99, and you did all of that in 1 year. If you multiply that, so I would have spent, 5 times 5 to get each ebook, which would be $25. And then I would have spent, 5 times 25, 24.99 to get each of your audiobooks for those ebooks. And then I would have spent, another, a holiday special you would have released. So I would have spent another 24.99 because I'm a true fan. So, from me, just one person, you would have then earned, I don't know, $200 from me in any given calendar year. And that's just on the low end, right? Most people who are indie authors and who make a career of their writing usually will do a lot more than that. Their library will be much more lucrative. And then as you bring in new readers each year, they're looking back at your old catalog. So you're still counting on that first book or that first thing to always be bringing in some cash flow. And then as they're buying everything that you've released from the past to the present, then they're playing catch up. But a true fan is dictated by the number of things that they purchase from you every time you release something. And the way that that most people will know that, like, how will you personally know that I personally purchased every time you release something? Well, that's where your newsletter is your baseline. Your newsletter proves it all. And this is how. When you have someone sign up for your newsletter, like I have people sign up for my newsletter, I can see intricate details on what you do when you read my newsletter. I can see when you opened it. I can see how long you've kept my email open, which will then give me an idea on, did you read the entire email? If you just opened it and it was open literally for 5 seconds, that says to me you probably didn't read it. Okay, you probably clicked on it, opened it by mistake, and deleted it. I can see if you clicked on something and then and I can also see what you clicked on. So if I put a link to Amazon that is where you can purchase said book that I just released. And then I go to my Amazon KDP store and I can see I made a sale. If you were my only person on my email newsletter, I know for a fact you just purchased that book when you click that link from Amazon. You know what I mean? So I can then take the numbers on my email newsletter. When I see my link clicks, I can look specifically at my Amazon link. And then if I can see I have an email newsletter of, 500 people received it, 10 people clicked the Amazon link, and then I go to Amazon and I see 10 purchases, I can then see Jim, Sally, Sue, and whoever the other 10 people are almost to being a true fan. So what I'll do is on my, I use MailChimp, I will create a tag, and that tag could be true fan, right? And so I will give them that tag. And so the next time I release something, I will then filter to my true fans and then compare apples to apples and look at Amazon and say, okay, here's my second book. My true fans clicked on my Amazon link. I go over to Amazon and I see 10 new purchases. Then I know that they are still a true fan. I can't say with certainty that the 10 purchases made on Amazon were from the 10, people, but you're like 99.9% sure that that's who those are. that the 10 sales you made here were from the 10 clicks you got over there. And so a true fan you is someone you can rely on. So when I know that I'm going to release, 10 books in a year, I can rely on these 10 people to purchase that book. And usually a true fan and will then become what people will call a super fan, meaning they will buy it in every iteration that you release it in, right? So if I'm a fan of Stephen King, I'm going to buy it when it's a hardcover release, first release. I will then buy that same book when it's in paperback. I will then buy that same book when he releases the audiobook. I will then buy that same book when it's a mass market paperback. I will then buy that same book 10 years later when it's an anniversary edition, right? So you just made how much money from one book, one person in a 10-year span. You know what I mean? So that's what a true fan is. A true fan is someone, and that's why they say for an indie author, you can, in theory, if you sit down and um, take one person and say, for this one person, I want them to purchase all the books, and then you add in, if you have a t-shirt because you've got some sort of insignia that's really cool, and so now you create merchandise from the things, and then you start selling pens and stickers, and you have posters, and you've got all of these different things that you can now market along with the literature that you're creating, and you know that that super fan, that true fan, is going to purchase it, and you give them that deal. That's how you get the hook in. So you say, that's how you create, because sometimes it's like, well, how do you create that fan? People go for the cheap, right? So what you do is you say, that's why a lot of people will have the first week, the book is 99 cents. The reason is not because it's not that you're selling yourself short. It's that you're drawing them in closer to you to become that true fan eventually. So you give them little breadcrumbs. Yes, book one is 99 cents for the first 2 weeks. Then you release book two soon after, and let's say it's $1.99, and I'm talking ebook, right? I'm not talking print book or whatever. They the incentive is they love the first book so much that they buy the second, or they're not sure yet. They kind of like the first one, but you know what? The second one's only $2, so I'll buy the second one. And then before you know it, you've hooked them because now you've if your writing is as good as it should be, then that's what you do. Well, see, Silent Willow, that's why I did what I did, which was I didn't start releasing anything until I had multiple books written. That's another thing that's really important that a lot of indie authors, when they tell you how they did it by when they started releasing something, they didn't start releasing something and say, and be like, well, now you're going to have to wait, 5 to 10 years before I get the second book to you. No. If this is what you want to do, you got to learn to hustle, right? And the hustle is if you want to be a George R. R. Martin who is going to take 25 years to release book 7 or book 8 or whatever the case may be, you need to build the true fan from book 1. He would not be able to get away with the span that he's getting away with right now, as much as people want to dog on him and say they hate him now, whatever. Guess what? Those people already bought the first 5, 6 books. And those people, as much as they hate that he's going to make them wait for the next book, when his publishing house releases a special edition, leather, gold trim, extra map, beautiful, blah, 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 that person who's dogging on him and is shrugging their shoulders and saying, I refuse, guarantee you 9 out of 10 times they're going to buy that special edition first book, blah, 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 because they're a true fan and they can't help themselves. So if you are the kind of person who you know that you're going to be that person who is going to take 45 years from book to book, then you need to learn the hustle. And the hustle is, if this is what you want to do and you're not George R. R. Martin, you're not Stephen King, you're not Brandon Sanderson, you're not, N.K. Jemisin, you need to do what the others are doing, and you need to learn how to write the shorter book faster. And you need to come up with that series. It might not be in your wheelhouse because you might feel like that's demeaning to you, or that's not on the level that you want to be at as a writer taken seriously, but that's the only way you're going to get your true fan, period. So if you want your true fan to love, appreciate, and be willing to wait for the stuff that you want to write that's going to take you decades, you need to give them something. And you need to give them something now. You need to give them something fast, and you need to make it inexpensive. And then you need to be able to do that in a consistent amount of time for a consistent number of years, so that after 5 years, it's usually, they say the sweet spot is actually 7. 7 years, if you can get a person to buy your stuff that you consistently release over the course of 5 to 7 years, then after that 7 year mark, you can then, one, take the library that you've written and created and cultivated and built your true fan from for those 7 years, and continue to bring in and feed in new people. And that's how you do marketing, and that's when you do ads, and that's when you do things like that, and you recycle some of the money that you make to bring in more. They're not true fans, they might not be super fans, but they're fans, and so they're coming in and they're buying stuff. You live off of those 7 years, so that then you can go and you can build, you can write that, epic fantasy thing that's going to take you 10, 15, 45 years to write, because you know that the people who've been eating up what you gave them for those 7 years are willing to wait. But while they wait, you better be emailing them, letting them know your progress, saying, you know, you just did so and so XYZ. And then there's the magic sauce wrapped up in there, but that's the only way to do it. Otherwise you're shooting yourself in the foot, because a first time writer, you also have to remember, is or a first time reader is not likely to want to pick up the first Silent Willow book that's 10 pounds. You know what I mean? So you don't want to give them a tome, you want to give them a pamphlet, and then you want to increase that pamphlet to something else, and then to a beach read, and then you want to increase that beach read to a novel, then you want to increase that novel to a series, and then you want to increase that series to a tome. And that's only because you're a nobody, you're a nothing, nobody knows you. Who knows you? You have a smaller chance of someone picking up a book from someone they've never heard of or read of before, and be willing to sit through 10,000 pages. That's just, that's the truth of it. That's why you have someone who's like a Tolkien. He wrote short stories. He wrote The Hobbit. He wrote entry things that bring the reader in, and then he could release, Lord of the Rings and the big tomes, because people will say, well, they read the shorter stuff, loved it. They wanted more. They wanted bigger. They wanted expansion. Boom, you got it. And I'm talking not from when he released, but from like today. Like for me, I didn't enter the world of Tolkien on Lord of the Rings. I entered on The Hobbit. Why? Because when I went to his section, I was like, okay, I want something small. I don't want to enter his world on like something that's going to sprain my wrist. I need something that's light for me. And so I read The Hobbit, loved it, and that was, off to the races. So you need to think like that. Otherwise, otherwise there's no way. Okay, so I am going to open Vellum now. Vellum. which is what I use to do my ebooks. I will share my I will share that when I get I think this is it. A new version. Okay, hold on. I have to update. I swear the last time I opened this, I had to update it. It's almost like Windows, although Windows hasn't had me update as much as usual. Okay, open Sesame. Are we open now? Yay. Okay. Let me switch so you can see this instead of seeing my spreadsheet, which is pretty boring to look at. Actually, let's move it in a tad smidgen like that before I switch. Come on, help me out here. Grr. Show windows with empty names. Let's try that again. Here we go. All right, so I need to reconfigure this for a second because it's not showing everything. Should have known that. So yeah, I think I mentioned this before, but I use Vellum to do my to do my ebooks because it's just so much easier. I mean, it literally takes me seconds as opposed to like what would probably take me way too long if I tried to do it via Scrivener. So, um, unfortunately, yes, it is. But I have opened the door to anyone who may not have um, a Mac or who may not have the finances to buy Vellum because Vellum's, while it's also a Mac only software, it is an expensive Mac only software. So I am more than willing to run anyone who wants their book through Vellum to export it as a to export it in any ebook format that you want because literally it takes seconds. I mean, I did it for Brenna when she um, released her first book, and I will be doing it again for her when she sends me the file for her second book. But you know, something that takes you know minutes. What usually ends up taking the longest in any for me to do this, which is fine because it's just a formatting situation. For me to do it through Vellum, no, I do not. Unless you want me to make certain formatting changes, which then would take time because then we'd have to sit together and we'd have to go page by page for you to tell me what you need to change. Like in the instance of Brenna's, she had different there were how do I put it? There were um, different things like italicizing, underlining, different things that she wanted to be present within the e-file as well as the print. So in her instance, because I formatted both her print on Adobe InDesign and then I did also this, and we literally spent maybe collectively 4 to 5 hours on it. So yes, she did pay me for what I did, but I only use Vellum to do the ebook. So if you wanted the print file, I use Adobe InDesign. I do not use Vellum because of its limitations. But for ebook, I don't give a crap about its limitations because you can't dictate what the ebook will look like in each person's device because there are millions of different devices that allow you to read a book on the computer and you decide the size, you decide the font, you decide all that crap. Um, But if it's a matter of you don't really have many formatting things that you want done, you just, want me to just put it in there, make sure the chapters are right with the headings, and then boom, export it. No, I wouldn't charge you for that. But like for me, what I did was, let me show you. So here's my preface. So I decided to put the image that I created, and I'm still tinkering on whether or not I want to keep that, but for now, each chapter heading, instead of it just being the title, which is like the newsstand or whatever, it's actually the image and then the story. And I'm thinking I might actually go back to all the images and create different ones that don't have the URL, which is patreon.com/books. That is because these were more for sharing on social media than for putting it in an ebook. So I think for the purpose of the ebook, um, yes, and you can select it. So, for instance, if I'm looking at what it would look like on an iPhone, I can tell it, show me what it'll look like on a Kindle Fire. And this is what it would look like on a Kindle Fire. I can say, what about a Paperwhite, which is not color, right? A Paperwhite is just black and white, a Kindle Paperwhite. So here's what it'll look like. It's not in color anymore, it's in black and white, but I can see that it's not going to be, you know, a bit that much of a hindrance. And then I can look at things like this image and say, is this too dark? Do I want to lighten up the black on this so that it doesn't come through this way? Am I okay with the way this looks? So I can kind of take a look, like even a Nook, they just added that. So here's what it would look like on a Nook. I can see what it'll look like on a Kobo device. So here's Kobo, and then here's on an Android. This is what it would look like on an Android tablet. So I like that it'll give me the option. I mean, it's not going to show me all of the many millions of different things, but it shows me the most popular programs and or devices out there, so I can see what it would look like on an iPad. I use an iPhone, so usually I'll just take a look and see what it looks like on a Fire, and then I usually keep it on what it would look like on an iPhone. I wish they would update the iPhone though, so that it looks like the newer iPhones and not the ones that have the big bevels on the top and the bottom. But beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, so it's pretty cool, right? Um, and you're limited on the choices that you have, which is why I'm willing to do this, almost you could say for free if anyone wants me to run their thing through it, because you are limited to like 5 different styles that you can have your chapter headings look like, or your paragraphs or whatever, as opposed to if you had like the option of like anything, then yeah, I might charge you, because if I have to change it up, which is why in the case of like Brenna, she paid me when I did the print book in Adobe InDesign, because we really did go page by page, and her book is like 350 pages or 350 plus. So we had to go through page by page, and she had to tell me, this particular line has to be in italics, it has to be indented, it has to be in all caps, it has to be, a smaller font, a larger font, whatever. And that was for the print book. But then we had to do a bit of an equivalent for the ebook, because ebook and print book don't speak the same language. Um, but yeah. So, like in this case, you see, I have to fix this because it shouldn't be double spaced like this. And that's the other thing. Sometimes I have to go through, because it is as easy as a click. Like I say, import a Word file, and it imports it. But you do run the issue of it might not, import it properly. It might not, it might put too many spaces in the paragraphs, etc. I can also come in here and change the style as well. So if I want to see what it would look like if someone were to like blow my story up to like the biggest size, use a sepia background, or change it from dark to light, I can then look at this and say, okay, what does the image look like now if they're in dark mode situations? And then it shows you what the options are with that device. So dark mode is not an option on the Paperwhite, obviously, but it tells me what kind of font options that person has, what kind of size options that person has if they're using a Paperwhite to read my book, um, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let me go back to the iPhone and let's fix that. I don't want it to be that big. And I like the Georgia font. Let's see, that's too big. That's perfect. Um, so yeah, Vellum. It's a really great program, but I think the just the ebook, just to get it so that you can generate ebooks costs like I want to say 250. It might be cheaper, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. And then if you want the full package, which is that you can create the print book file as well as the ebook files, that's like, 400, I think. It's like 399 or 299 or something like that. But like I said, I only went for the ebook thing because I didn't need the option. When you generate, you just tell it what options you want, and it literally gives you everything. Um, and it's just a great program. Um, so my next step, now that I have my Vellum open, I was actually working on my Patreon before before I decided to start streaming. But what I'm doing on my Patreon is something that I can actually do on stream, so it's not like I have to hide it in any way. So I'm actually going to switch again. Um, Once I can get this right. Hold on. Actually, I'm not going to switch. I'm just going to create a new window capture. That's going to be a lot easier. I'm tempted to do a display capture. I know that's what some people will do. Like they'll capture just the entire display, which makes it easier. So something I want you to be able to see, I could just move it over to that window, and whatever I don't, I put it in the other. But I don't want to do display capture until I have multiple. Add new source. Save that. Add source. Select option. Where is it? Right here. Done. Give me a second. Sorry. Um, so here's my lovely Patreon, which I'm sure you've seen before. Okay, let's. Whoop, shrunk it too far. Perfect. Okay. Um. So let's go up here. That's saved. Quit. All right. So I need to now get the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which I will probably just copy and paste from my website. Can I do that? I updated my website again, by the way, um, slightly. So I have my buttons here. I have so you can watch me either streaming live on YouTube or on Twitch. Um, I am in both platforms simultaneously whenever I stream now. Um, and then with my Friday Fiction, basically you just click this window, which I'm going to fix this. I'm going to do a different image that's going to actually say like click here or something so people will know, because I guess it could be kind of misleading if you're on my website and you see this. I don't know how many people are likely to encounter this image here and just click it. Um, So I feel like I need to kind of be like, hey, person, click this, and my stories will drop down here. So here are all the ones that I've written that are standalone, that are not like a continuation or any way, shape, or form like that. But on Patreon right now, I only have the first 10. So 3, 6, 9. So up to the Secret Keeper. I need to um, I'm going to create a post basically for um, these other 9, and then so that way my patrons have access to the same number. Why does this say? Am I missing something here? Hold on. The Secret Keeper, the Wizard of Oz, the Hanging Tree, Mermaid. I am missing one. Okay. I need to create an image. Okay, so now, hold on one second, because I hate to not be in the right order. I think you might have seen how I do this as well, but I'm going to show you how I create an image. Oh, I have to sign in. Adobe Account Access app. Really? Oh, that's new. Hold on one second. I gotta download that app. I also need to plug my phone in. Adobe Account Access. Here we go. That's gotta be new. Oh, damn. That damn double click gets me every time. Boom. Sweet. Okay, let that download. I'm actually getting the new iPhone tomorrow. So excited. Um, that's why I have these sitting here. They're waiting for the new iPhone. So I got a case for it already, and I have the glass to put over the front of it already because I'm not messing around with that new phone. All right, so get a jump on your November content plan. Here are the dates and themes to keep in mind. Search any of these keywords in Spark template. Search to get started in seconds. Okay, so what's new in Spark? Oh, what's new? That's not new. It's from like 18 days. I mean, last month or 2 months ago. Projects. Oh yeah, see, I was starting to create this image and then I must have got distracted, so we'll do it now. So I need to create Parker and the Giant. Hmm, trying to remember what my plan was. Okay. This is closer to what I'm looking for. Ooh, what I'm looking for. Okay, I got one down. Just need to edit this image. Okay, is that. Now I need. This seems really small. Can I get something bigger? Let me try that again. Okay, this is better. Save image. I have an idea. Okay. Let me now do a proper background. Let's do this so we can see what I'm doing. Add a photo from my downloads. Let's start with the female. Can we flip her around? Yes. A lot bigger. Centered somewhat. Like that. Movie back. Oh, you know what? Not centered. Because I have to put the title somewhere. So let's put you like right there. And now we're going to add another image. Oh wait, before I add the other image, I need to change the color, which I should be able to do here. should try to do it in Photoshop. What I need to do. I can't figure out how to do it. It is so cold. I need to turn the heat up. Alright, so now let's do. Boom, done. Okay, that should have done it. Let's do Photoshop quit. Let's come back over here, add photo, upload. I might have needed to do an overlay as opposed to what I actually did, but we'll see. Um, Sweet. Yeah, I could use some breakfast. I might go downstairs and scrounge something up. My stomach is talking at me. You know what my problem is? She's too far over. Let's move down a bit. Oh, 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 stop, stop, stop. There we go. And now he's going to have a bit more room to breathe here. Perfect. Now I get to download this. Where was I? Yeah, I was here. Okay, and now I get to. Actually, I need to update my website. Do I need to sign back in again? Oh, I think I do. Okay, that's number 14. So now I can do multiple things. Okay, so I need to come back to posts. I need to add, oh, here it is. So let's do an edit. This is just WordPress. This is how I do my website, how I design it, organize it, etc. Let's see, featured image. Use that. Select. All right. Now we're going to do what? Not an excerpt. That's already checked. Let's fill in the category. Oh, that's already checked off. Permalink should be FF14. This is the 14th story. I think that's it. Let me just do a quick scrolly poo here. Looking good. Should be able to just publish it now, right? Let's find out. Okay, so here it is. Here's the story, and then at the bottom should be where you can comment. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go back here just for a second. Looking good in the neighborhood. Okay. Now I need to update this, I'll bet. Let's edit this page. I now have to shift some images so I can add that one. So I'll need to add 10, I think. 6, 7, 8. Am I missing something again? Let's check. The ring, the newsstand, happy eater, matter factory, happy last day, bone war, what big teeth, time of death, letters to Emma, the secret keeper, Wizard of Oz, hanging tree, mermaid. Okay, right here is where I need to start shifting things. Where did my thing go? Oh, here it is. Um, Okay, so now let's take a look again at my list. The Mermaid, Parker, Life Expectancy, Dalrymple's, Bartholomeus, the Toaster. Okay, so 3, 6, 7, 8. So I need to add 8 stories to my Patreon. Phew, let's update this page first. Let's view it. Make sure it looks good. So now when you click here and it drops down, there we go. All the things. I just realized I'm using the same background color as the hanging tree on Parker and the Giant. Meh, I'll leave it. I'm sure that won't be too bad. All right, so now let's come over here. We can close this and we can close that as well. And okay. The wonderful wizard. Trying to think of the best way to copy and paste this. I suppose from my website. So I don't have to open a window, but this one is a bit tricky because there's a lot of breaks and things and it's very long. See how it handles it on Patreon. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to link it. I think this one's gonna have to be a link. There's too many. In which case now I have to think about if I link from OneDrive or if I link from Google Drive. I don't even know what the URL is for OneDrive. Ah, the hell's bells? Here we go. Patreon, Friday Fiction. It would not be here. Hold on, back up, back up. Maybe here. Yep, right here. Okay. Did we not copy the link just now? Copy. Here we go. Okay. Interesting. No yawning. Boy, this is new stuff. Sweet. Okay, before I officially start my work day, I actually have to get off of here and go do that. Um, oh my god, I officially got the email from Apple that my thing is coming tomorrow. which is so awesome. My God, is the new year in 49 days? It's crazy. Hmm. Right. I'm going to hop off here, get something to eat for breakfast, start my work day, do the things that I do on the days that I do them. Um, I will probably stream tomorrow morning, if only to give myself some bit of distraction while I wait for my iPhone to arrive, which probably won't be till like after 2 in the afternoon. And I know I'm just going to be sitting here biting my nails, waiting for that thing to come. Um, you know what? Before I go, though, I only did one story. I kind of wanted to do all of them. So let's press on. Right. Let's press on. So let's scroll down to the bottom. Next would be the hanging tree. Welcome back. I was just about to sign off, but I realized that if I were to do so, it's likely I would get so distracted that I would not end up completing my mission, which was to share all the stories that are already up on my website to my patrons. So that way I'm on an equal playing field when I return to writing not so much new stuff, but I want to finish some stories that I had started many moons ago that I um, feel are worth completing. And then, what is happening? stuff. Don't know what it's doing. I don't know if you remember me writing these stories, Silent Willow, but you would have been, I think you might have been on stream when I was doing, um, when I first started out, I was doing writing studies, quote unquote, and these 9 or 10 stories actually came from then, which is going all the way back to like 2016, 2017, when I was doing my writing studies. And there were several stories that I had intended on writing at the time, and I didn't. And I think it's because I was looking at writing my first novel, so I stopped my writing studies so that I can do what became Daxton um, at the time. But yeah, so The Mermaid and the Pirate came from that time period. Oh, I forgot to put the image. God damn it. So I'm basically bringing them back, going to re-edit them, kind of re whatever, and then put them in a collection of my favorites. So not all of them will be considered a favorite, but I applied the same thing where I'm creating images for them, which I didn't in the past. That's better. But yeah, my goal is I'm actually going to enter a contest or two, short story contest. I'm going to create a compilation of short stories, so a book. So I am going to release a book. It's just not going to be a novel in the same sense of the word, but it's going to be a collection of short stories that I'm going to release next year. My goal is to write. Ooh, I pasted that into the wrong place. My goal is to write 2 a month. Uh, wait, The Mermaid and the Pirate. Oh, I should have done. That's all right. So I will hopefully have written 24 short stories in the course of 2021, and then I'm not going to put all 24 in one book. That might end up being too many stories. I've actually been doing research on how many short stories people usually put in a collection when they release a collection. So I'm going to do a bit more research on that. I've also subscribed, or I'm starting to subscribe to some publications that print short stories, like what I would submit mine to. So I'm not just going to submit them to contests, but I'm going to actually submit them to um, imprint publications that um, usually just print short stories. The most notable one is this one, which is um, what's it called? The Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. So they release this, tome, I think every 2 months. I think this is November, December of this year. So yeah, so I'm gonna submit my stories to them, and each thing is several stories. So in this one, they have novelettes, they have short stories, and then they have poems, and then they have like different sections where they have writers who will tell you, who will interview someone, or something like that. They also have a competition that they do, um, and so on and so forth. So I can either submit a novelette to them, or a short story, or a poem. So I'm gonna give. It's a whole different world than novel writing. It's a whole different playing field that I will be tapping into. So I need to like put on a different brain almost from wanting to enter the world of independent writing as a novelist to independent writing as a short fiction writer, because it's two completely different things. But I am excited for it. I think I prefer writing short stories, at least for right now. Um, yeah. Okay. And I'm going to chronicle, if you will, my journey on like what it's like to, switch from novel, from being a novelist to. Hold on one second. One thing I'm not used to yet is how houses creak and make noise on their own. So I always feel like I'm hearing someone walking around on this floor, and there shouldn't be because I'm the only person on this floor. My wife is downstairs. So I was like, I keep turning my head to the doorway because I'm like, why do I feel like someone's walking around? Okay. Still not used to that. I mean, I've only been here since September 25th, so I think it's okay if I say that I'm still not used to um like foreign sounds, but yeah, I'm basically about to make all these stories available for like everybody on January 1st, which is doesn't really matter because all of this is available um, already on my website. I just want to. I wonder if Garrett is still streaming. He did what he usually does, where he started streaming and went to sleep and left his stream on all night. So last time I checked, his stream had been on for like over 7 hours. Um, so I'm hoping he. I just thought of that. Hoping he turned it off. All right, thanks for stopping by. When you're done, I probably will not still be streaming. I'm likely going to be off having acquired food and be doing other things, but thank you for stopping by for a little while. I'm just going to continue doing this, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, after this one, I have two more, and then I'm done. What? Is that because I'm posting too many times in one day, or that's a weird thing to come up? It's just a story, but now they're making me nervous about posting this. So I'm going to save it and post it another day. Or actually, will if I schedule it, will they kill me? Let me schedule it for Monday. And then, because there's nothing here that should suggest there might be some language in the story that suggests giving something away, but Patreon is so weird sometimes. Yeah, it didn't do. It must have been something I wrote in that story that makes them think I'm giving away doing a raffle or something. It's so weird. But I will schedule these last bits anyway, just because I don't want to inundate. One more. I gotta go get the trash bins from the front of the house as well. Sweet. Okay. So now if I go here, let's see how many posts I see. I think it's gonna be 15, and then Sweet. Okay. So that be the end of that. Um, like I said, I might be back tomorrow. I might not. You never know. Let's see who may or may not be streaming. Uh, I can throw a host. He's still, oh my God, I think I'm going to text his wife who might be up. Okay, no one is streaming, so I'm just